The library it goes back as far as the beginning of civilization. Libraries started when people began living in cities and weren't hunter-gatherers, and there was a need for record keeping. But it's the place that has within it what we are as human beings. It's our collective memory.
When I heard that they were going to have this event, I said, gee, that's great. Why don't we also find out the people who have been members here for the 50 years that the library has been open? It would be just nice to listen to people who remember when this was in a store in the downtown part of Valley Cottage.
I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.
The library began with volunteers.
I remember that we're at this store, there have been a lot of volunteers.
There were a number of us volunteers who would go door to door in our particular area.
We had a small group of volunteers, many who wanted to see the library prosper and grow, and it was just something you did.
The wife answered the door, and she called to her husband and said, honey, they're collecting for the library. And his retort was, yeah, give them a couple of bucks. You never know when you might want to read a book.
It was very cozy and very small, and never in my life ever imagined that they're going to blossom into something like what we have now, because this is an architectural gem.
The library, which was a little storefront, that's how I remember it. And my kids took books out of there, but they claimed, when I speak to them today, they said, Ma, that library was so small. Do you remember we used to have to go to the Nyack Library to get books?
It was hard to imagine that in a comparatively few years, we were able to go an increase in space of 8 times.
I think it's the people who began the library who are owed a great deal of gratitude, because they had the vision to understand how valuable a library is in a community. And I think the community should be applauded for supporting this library for so many years. 50 years, it's a great achievement.
Well, I remember the building that was here first, which was an air conditioning and design place. And they bought the building, and we looked into the building, and it was pretty good. They had offices, and we figured we'd had to take this out, take that out, change this. And that's what happened.
From that tiny little one-room building that you have since a real beautiful cultural center like this one is.
The first job I had was to take an existing building, this is a commercial building that was on this site, and turn it into a library.
It's amazing what it's turned into, from that little store to this beautiful building that now, houses like 100,000 items.
We're working under wonderful conditions. We have windows all over, and we watch the 4 seasons, the snow, the new growth of the trees, the change of scenery. We have magnificent scenes because of Michael Esme was conscious of that the staff room should also be pleasant.
It has been a wonderful, wonderful experience having lived in Valley Cottage, seen the founding of the original library, and then seen it expand to this wonderful facilities.
Valley Cottage has a beautiful library.
I think it's a beautiful library. I think it's very different, architecturally from the outside and from the inside. When you're passing it on Route 303, I think you must wonder, what the heck is that building? It looks like, it has wings on it, or something like it's going to take flight. And inside, it has a lot of soaring spaces, but yet it's somehow intimate.
Anywhere you look in the library to find where the pieces were put on, it's almost seamless. And to me, it's quite amazing, because all the expansion pieces are different in terms of their internal look. And they're done at different times, but there's a cohesiveness about it, and a surprising quality. You can't tell what's inside the building from outside, and every time you turn a corner, there's something different, and it looks different, but it's cohesive with whatever else there is. To me, it's one of the real attractions of the library.
For me, the library is truly like a little bit like a church. You know, it has everything. It has a repository of all man's great thoughts and knowledge and inspiration and creativity. And at the same time, it has an atmosphere of reverence and quiet where you can get away from the outside world and really think as well as read.
Oh, I'm going down to the library, taking out a book, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, taking out a book, check it out.
Welcome. Come on in.
Welcoming.
And it's comfortable, and it's quiet without being suppressing.
So welcoming.
It's always been a very welcoming place, I think, very much so.
Welcoming, welcoming, welcoming.
That's been our philosophy. We're here to serve. And I think that's one of the assets of the library. People come in here and they feel welcome, and they know we're here to help them.
It's very warm.
A very welcoming part of the community.
I think I found that my life has been very enriched by this library and the wonderful staff. I mean, it really is a warm and friendly place to come.
And I felt very good here.
In the library, you can find a little nook and sit there and read and think or just be.
I think we just have a great environment. We have a beautiful building. We have lovely windows. Everything is spacious. Nice courtyard.
But I'm still working at the library because I have the best job in the world.
Very friendly. Everybody was always willing to talk to you, staff and patrons. It was just a great place to be.
I want to be able to have an environment where people feel comfortable. I wanted them to feel that this is like a community place where they can be safe, where they can have all the things that they want to have, like, I don't know, games, books, a place safe for them to hang out and be with their friends without, you know, having to worry about adults.
I think the staff here is much more friendly, and I think they go out of their way to take good care of patrons. And they also get along very well with each other, so it's a very pleasant, collegial place to work.
I think we're a friendly library. In fact, we often get told this.
There is a feeling that people get of warmth, and I think that has to come from the people who work here.
We're not always perfect, but we really do try hard.
Every day, someone tells us we're their favorite library.
One of my purpose of getting involved with the library was also to hopefully to create a little garden or maybe a little trail where the kids can view the unfolding of nature from early February to then back to the November and December snowfalls.
Well, one other thing I got involved in, I never get with the garden club, but it's an annual event, is putting up the critter tree. And of course I worked with the members of the garden club in making these critters out of all kinds of pine all kinds of cones and different seeds and pods and bristles and you name it.
About ships that sail like Titanic. We are having fun. Reading about the stars and the sun. At the Valley Very Cool Cottage Luxury Library. Books at the Valley Very Cool Cottage Luxury Library.
They are so committed, they're so part of this library. It's not just a service where you come in and you check out your books. From the reference desk onto the children's library, it's a place where you almost feel like a family member. You come in and they truly look for the ways they can help you?
Well, they're always ready to help. First of all, they're always smiling, and no matter what you ask of them, they seem to be anxious to help you.
It was like jumping into a big family.
It's really wonderful. That's why I've been here for 27 years. We have amazing people working here. I don't know how we attract this wonderful staff that we've always had, and that's one of the really the best parts of working here is great staff members, great people. We all work together. It's just a wonderful environment.
We went through birth of children, grandchildren, caring for each other.
The staff here is just an amazing bunch of people.
It's like a community center. It's for all people.
There isn't very much in Valley Cottage, and the community room became a real point of catering to the community.
People were not sure that the Valley Cottage Library could support a meeting room. And I remember going through that whole process of, is it too big, is it too large? The day it opened, it was too small.
Well, I personally am very grateful, but I think the community ought to pat itself on the back for the support and the love of coming to this library. So between the board, the staff, and the community, everyone built this library. It wasn't one person, it wasn't one idea, it was really a community effort. And we all ought to be very, very proud of it.
People comment a lot on the programs that we have, the variety and the number of them for adults, children, and teens. That's a draw.
This particular library is also like a gallery and a cultural center where we come here for viewing paintings, and we come here for concerts, and we come here sometimes just to meet somebody reading the newspaper.
It was not a remarkable library. It was quite small, but the art programs that Helen Spencer had developed were really quite outstanding, and her art shows were lovely. She had mannequins, she showed old dresses, she's very imaginative.
I always love the art shows when we come in. I've gotten to know a lot of different local artists because of that.
Some of the things we have done is we had bands here playing, like local bands.
I remember buying an auction ticket for a painting to finance a new grand piano. Well, enough people did that, and we have a wonderful grand piano, which led to Sunday afternoon concerts, which were well attended, and the music was very professional, very uplifting. The programs here at the library are exceptional.
Well, I've watched the library grow several times. We had a construction party. We had many parties here. We celebrated a lot of memorable events.
The biggest character over the years that I met in the library, I suppose, was my husband, who was also a page when I worked here way back when. When we finally decided to get married, we decided to get married in the library. For a couple of reasons. I'm not a very traditional person, so I didn't want a big church wedding. And the other, that we met here, and it was a part of our lives. So we felt that that was significant enough, and that all of the staff in the library from very early on did feel like family.
I remember coming to the library as a little kid and going into the children's room back when it was still one of the smallest rooms in the library, and going through all their books. It's a very nice, cozy place to be.
I love being in the children's room, and especially here at this library. It's such a special place. I want them to know that books are fun, learning is fun.
We had a children's librarian, Pat Parker, who was super. It was very easy to do the children's room because everyone was on board with it.
To serve children and their parents, to make the space welcoming, especially to encourage parents to get reading with their children when they're really young, because we know that pays off all through the rest of their lives.
When the children's library was in the glass room, when everybody was packed into that, and when they finally finished construction on this, it was just great to see, and everybody loves it.
She would lure all of these little munchkins in, and they would have a grand time.
Probably one of the most fun things were pajama story times, which people seem to remember. And I've met people in their 20s now that came here that still remember pajama story time.
I remember pajama story time. I used to get in my pajamas and go into, I guess, the old community room, it must have been, when it was like very tiny, and there was only a few of us, but like a few kids, and she would read a story to us.
The reason that the children's room is located right inside the entry and was extraordinarily attractive was to grab the kids as soon as they came in the building.
I was in 5th grade when I started volunteering in the children's room.
And then the community, the families that I watched grow, watched little tiny infants grow into teenagers. I couldn't have asked for a better environment.
You usually can go into the kitchen and there's always free food, so that's always fun.
Food. They love any type of cooking program. Absolutely adore it.
I think it's awesome because everyone's friendly. Everyone says hi to you and they see you. It's kind of like the whole metaphorical extended family thing.
I absolutely love this library, and especially the children's room. I really found a home. It's perfect for me.
Mrs. Parker's back behind the checkout desk today. That Cheshire cat jumps on her head and says, "Let's play." But Mrs. B says, "Goodness, are you sure you want all these?" "Oh yes," we shout together. She says, "Shh."
I've always enjoyed being able to come to the library and just wander through the stacks and find my favorite topic or favorite author and just get lost in books.
I fall in love with books easily, so I don't know that I can pull out one as a favorite.
It's hard to pick my favorite author because I enjoy reading so many different books, and it's hard to pick just one.
I love James Clavell novels. I love Shogun.
I still love starting little guys out with Goodnight Moon.
And we read that every night for years afterward. In fact, the book still sits underneath Elise's bed.
The only thing that comes to mind, which is fairly recent, I guess, is The Kite Runner, which after I read that for a long time, everything else was kind of bland. I just couldn't find a really good book. I just loved that.
I was like The Lord of the Rings.
For the most part, I read nonfiction, and that's my baby. I enjoy that very much.
I like the American Girl books, and my favorite one's Snoozapalooza.
Happy birthday. Nice to be part of the library.
I am delighted to be able to wish the Valley Cottage Library happy 50th birthday. I'm glad I could be a part of some of those years.
Happy anniversary, Valley Cottage Library.
I'd like to give my congratulations to the librarians and the board of the Valley Cottage Library and their 50th anniversary. You are serving the community very well.
The congratulations is just not the right word. It's just I'm at awe at their vision and their perseverance and their ability to get the taxpayers to fund the building is remarkable.
I think congratulations are deserved for the library because the people involved.
Certainly congratulations on the 50th anniversary are more than deserved, well deserved.
Congratulations, Valley Cottage Library, on 50 years of serving the public.
Congratulations, Valley Cottage Library. It's been a pleasure to be part of those first 50 years.
Congratulations. It's just the beginning. We have lots of growing to do.
I just wish you had 50 more wonderful years
Happy anniversary, Valley Cottage Library.
Congratulations to Valley Cottage Library on its 50th anniversary, and I wish you many more years.
Congratulations, Valley Cottage Library.
Congratulations, Valley Cottage Library, for 50 great years. I hope you keep going for another 50, and I hope I'm around to see it.
Congratulations, Valley Cottage Library, on 50 years of making me and other people feel at home.
Congratulations, Valley Cottage Library. It's very nice to help you celebrate this.
Well, I certainly congratulate the library on a wonderful 50 years, or at least the last 8 years that I know of for sure. I see the picture of the original building that the library was in, and certainly come a long way, and you deserve to have this wonderful success.
Happy 50th birthday, Valley Cottage Library.
Happy birthday, Valley Cottage Library. We hope to be here for another 50 years, and congratulations.
Thanks, Valley Cottage Library Board, staff, and all those who helped to make this such a great place. We're now in its 50th year.
Happy anniversary, Valley Cottage Library. Thank you for letting me be a part of your wonderful and rich heritage.
Thanks to the directors that we've had, current director, and certainly the staff. They're marvelous people. They've really done something extraordinary.
Congratulations, Valley Cottage Library. It's been 50 years. That's a long time. So, happy birthday.
I'll be honored by cutting a cake in a little while. I'm going to put 2 cuts in. 1 cut for the past 50 years and what we have done, and 1 cut for the 51st year, and therefore onward to bigger and better things.
I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.